Hello and welcome to another video. This is Maruna's manga channel and today we are going to storyboard some more pages for my manga. If you're new to this channel, this is basically me, a newbie, trying to make my own manga, and I'm just recording the process of it. Please check out my previous videos if you're interested. And we're still in the storyboarding process of the whole thing. Okay, so in my last video, we left off with Harper taking Stella into the Chaos Realm to escape from the monster that was attacking her. So the scene breakdown will be a continuation from that. It'll be them entering into the Chaos Realm. It's going to be a transition sequence from the real world into like the Chaos Realm, which is essentially like the underworld. And I want them to travel very briefly because what Harper wants to do is get away from their previous location and go back to the real world to get away from that monster. But during it, Stella accidentally touches one of the monsters and that causes her to lose consciousness because she gets overwhelmed or engulfed by the miasma or the emotions of that monster. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so page 1. Okay, so page 1, I would like to start with an insert shot of Harper leading Stella into the portal in this darkness. And the next panel, I imagine a close-up of Stella being in shock. Okay, so in my mind, the transition from coming into the Chaos Realm from the real world, I want to almost make it like they are going through water. Water because the Chaos Realm is essentially like a sea of emotions, but it's not really water, so they can breathe in it, but initially it's like being in liquid. So a close-up of Stella in shock because she sees bubbles coming out of her mouth and she freaks out for a split second because she thinks she's in water, she's submerged in water. But then Harper, who is in front of her, tells her to relax. These are speech bubbles for dialogue. Just a rough idea of where I'm going to put them. It's not really accurate at the moment, but the dialogue is basically, don't worry, you can breathe here. It's hard, but try and relax. She's trying to be reassuring. Through here, the background is probably going to be almost pitch black, but with Harper's hair, I want to make it look like gravity-wise they are sinking slowly into the Chaos Realm. So that's page 1. Page 2, I want to use the whole entire page to show the vastness or the feeling of vastness of the Chaos Realm. So the two characters are sinking down, and this is going to be all very dark, but I'm not quite sure what yet, but I want to sort of show maybe a creature. I definitely need a light source, probably coming from beneath them, because I also like the idea that this place is the opposite of the real world. So unlike the real world where the light source is coming from the top, the sun, it'll be coming from the bottom. No real scientific reasons or anything, I just like the idea of that. So it's a bit flexible. So nothing is quite decided yet. Okay, that is page 2. Page 3. I think we need an insert, their feet. That'll be Harper's because she landed first. And then behind her, landed Stella. And on the next panel, I want to do a shot of Harper turning around to Stella. So she's sort of turned like that. Because then I want to use two big pages. I want to use two big pages of Harper welcoming Stella to the Chaos Realm. So she has her arm outstretched. And okay, so the Chaos Realm, I don't quite have a solid plan of what it's going to look like yet. Like I said earlier, I'm thinking about maybe from the ceiling, from the sky, maybe it could be like the upside down of the city. And I can also imagine that it's not just the current city, but there's going to be all of these remnants of the historical buildings, like the remnants of what used to be in this area. Because if you've seen my lore video of how this Chaos Realm was made, you will know that it started off as a small village. So there'll be like those houses from that village is all still here because it's just it's like the past and emotions and what the people felt back then are still stuffed in here. And there is also a lot of creatures. So whatever the thing that we saw earlier, maybe it's either a fish or an octopus or a monster, just a blatant monster. Okay, so if the city is coming from the sky, I'm not too sure what they're actually standing on. I like the idea of them standing in water, but maybe there could be like trees growing from the ground upwards, and that's getting entangled with the buildings. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas for this section, but I haven't really settled on anything yet. I don't mind the idea that that the landscape can change once they move around a bit as well, so I don't think I have to have any real concrete plans yet. I can just save that for the proper drawing or the cleanup stage. But yeah, but in general it just has to be chaotic and messy, but also vast and quite amazing. Yeah, so that is page 4 and 5, and page 6, I think page 6 we can have a couple of inserts of maybe the creatures, maybe birds or fish flying in the air, maybe something that looks like snakes or the big tall trees. Some of the monsters are actually quite humongous. Want to know what kind of monsters these came from? Like these, sorry, they're looking quite dorky in my drawing here, but I want these ones to actually look quite scary. So we can add insert a panel of Stella looking scared. We haven't heard her talk in a while, but I don't know. I think she's just in a general state of shock at the moment. This is Harper telling her they need to get going. Sorry, so this is Harper nudging her along. In general, there's going to be a lot of talking from Harper here. I'm potentially gonna maybe lore dump a bit. It's probably a scene of them walking. So I think what's important through this section is to try and show a lot of the backgrounds for world building purposes. I think Harper would say something like, "Don't worry, they can't get us," or "Don't worry, they can't see us if I'm close by," because that's her thing, because she doesn't have emotions, so the monsters sort of see her as a bit of a void. And they can't see Stella either when Harper is standing next to her. Harper doesn't explain that per se, but it's more for like future references. Harper is she's trying to reassure Stella, so that's probably why she is talking a lot, when really talking is not really in her character as much, but it's sort of important for her to try and keep Stella calm. Because, yeah, so if Stella becomes too emotional, the monsters would start noticing her as well. And Stella, on the other hand, she is looking a bit dorky here, but that is because she is now going into a bit of a state of shock and denial, and I would like to probably add a comedic expression from her, because she has come to accept that this is a dream. So these boxes are her thoughts, being like, "Oh, I get it now, this is a dream. This doesn't make any sense." And she's probably thinking something like, "Maybe I'm still at work and I fell asleep at my desk." Yeah, I think that is a reasonable response to the current situation that she is in. That is page 7. Page 8, I want to do... So I need Harper to get distracted for a minute. So basically, I need Stella to accidentally touch a monster here. And in these moments, phones are really convenient. I will add maybe Harper's pocket, her hand, because it rings. I'm not too sure how that is actually going to look if it's in a manga. I guess it's just going to be writing, being like ring ring. In the next panel we'll see Harper and taking it, answering the phone, and Stella is behind her, but she is still monologuing. She can be like, "This is such a weird dream. I must be stressed." Yeah, basically she's falling apart. And this is her coping mechanism. This panel would probably be Harper answering her phone. She tells Stella to don't walk away from her, but I'll literally cut her the speech bubble with Stella's thought box. I don't know, maybe this panel and this last panel is a bit too similar to each other, so I might have to merge it in one. Or I might just have to change the composition a bit to make it a bit more different. I'm gonna leave it for now because I don't know what to do. I guess Stella, she's sort of looking around because she's just like, "This is a weird dream." And then maybe a close-up of her noticing something. And it should definitely, she should be looking at this way, well, the opposite direction to where Harper is. This is Harper's hair. On this page, it's the bit where Stella is going to accidentally touch a monster because she doesn't quite understand what's happening, clearly. But that's Stella in the foreground, and in a bit of a distance, behind some ruins or rocks or building or trees or whatever I figure out. But there's going to be an animal. I mean, it's going to be a monster, but like I said, almost all of the monsters are animals, and I need it to be something cute that Stella is going to go and pat it. Just because we already used a wolf for the other big monster, we're not gonna do a dog. So I was either thinking a rabbit or a cat or a lamb or something. But I have decided a cat, a cute monster. So it's gonna be a cat that's covered in the tendrils, but because we're in the chaos realm, it's gonna have like white tendrils, like light, instead of the dark tendrils that the other wolf had. And it has to look cute. Okay, I'm not very good at drawing animals, I think I mentioned in a previous video, but so I need to also practice, because this cat has to actually look quite cute. Meow. Okay, so that's page 9. Page 10. Stella, who is looking at the cat. Harper has her back to her, talking to the person on the phone. Just a close-up of Stella being, "Aww, kitty." Maybe she likes cats. Maybe she even prefers cats to dogs, but it's cruel fate that her monster is going to be a wolf, so she's going to have a wolf buddy by the end of the story and not a cat. Poor her. So she's like, "Oh, cute." So she walks over to it. Harper is being a bit silly of not keeping an eye on Stella here as well, but she's still young. So a very clear panel of Stella walking away from Harper. A bit of a dramatic shot of that is Stella's feet, and she is walking towards the cat. It's page 10. Page 11 is Stella. She kneels down to pat the cat. Not quite there yet. So she's about to pat the kitty. Oh, this cat is absolutely gonna come out again later. I've got an idea for it, but I'll explain the details then. Actually, will she pat the cat? Oh no, sorry. She's not gonna pat the cat. She's gonna just put her palm in front of it. Apparently, cats like to sniff you, and Stella probably knows because she's a cat person. So rather than touching the cat without warning, she's gonna let the cat sniff her. So the cat comes close, and on the next page, it's going to be a very similar setup to the previous one, but the opposite almost. The cat makes contact with Stella's hand, and just reminding you that the cat is technically a monster. It's an emotion monster. And emotion monsters essentially, all the monsters in the Chaos Realm manifested from people's emotions, and this cat is essentially something, like we don't know what it is, like what emotion it manifested from, maybe it's like loneliness or something, or stress or pain, because when she touches the cat, she is then overwhelmed, or almost like it's like an attack to her senses, to her brain and her mind. I don't know, I need to figure out probably a special effect here, and something, either it's not literally happening to her, but it's almost like touching fire, so she gets shocked by the cat. Has to be something really dramatic here. It'll be a lot of effect. Maybe I can do it that she was almost sliced up almost. Once again, not literally, just her mind. So yeah, this is page 13, and page 14, there's a bang noise. I mean, it's basically the sound of Stella collapsing. Harper finally turns to look, and then we see, so Harper turns around and we see Stella unconscious on the floor. Whatever the floor is going to be, because if it's water, it's basically she's going to be in a puddle. The cat is gone. So Stella, so if in the previous panel she looks like something like she was really injured, either by being flamed or sliced, by showing in this panel that she's actually physically fine, I want to sort of show that it was just her mind that was attacked. Yeah. Okay, so that's page 13. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that process video. There's a lot of manga and anime and media that portrays a lot of the underworld, so when we get into the proper drawing, the clean-up phases for this section, I'll probably reference a lot more from all the different types of underworlds. I am taking so long with these storyboarding process videos because I'm not too sure if I'm even halfway through the initial idea I had for my story yet. So there is still quite a few of these left, so I hope you would join me for the next one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!